Hello everyone. I'm going to be playing Dragon Age Origins, as you can see on the screen here. We're going to play through the entire game. I'm not going to be editing the videos too much. I'm going to keep them as realistic as possible so that you get the full scope of what this game entails. And for that reason, I'll be playing on easy mode or the casual mode, depending on which game in the series we're playing. For this first one, it's best if I just keep it on easy. Things will die a lot faster, and it'll be more enjoyable for those of you watching. I'll try not to talk about future games like Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition too much. Just so that those of you who have never played these games before don't get the game spoiled before you actually have a chance to see the previous games. Now, when I'm playing through this, we're going to pick a lot of options that people tend to avoid most of the time because the options are more on the chaotic side or evil side, as you might want to call it. So, without further ado, let's get started. New game. Now, when you do a new game on here, normally if you don't have any of the DLC downloaded, it'll just come up with Dragon Age Origins, so you won't see this window come up at all. But with the DLC, the biggest DLC game that they added was Dragon Age Awakening, and it's like a mini game that comes in between Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. We will be playing Dragon Age Awakening. We'll also be doing the other DLC. I already have all of it downloaded on here, so I'll make sure to mention the differences between the DLC and the original game as we go through. And so is the golden city blackened. With each step you take in my hall, marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world.
The Chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation. Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. It may even be too late, for I have seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Alright, the character creation screen will be coming up right away here. Now in this game, you can pick your gender first off. I typically like to play with the female characters, but for Dragon Age Origins, one thing that you should know is that there are actually differences in gameplay as to whether you pick male or female. So like your story, your origin story for your character, and certain scenes throughout the game will change based on your gender. They will also change based on these other factors, your race, class, and your background. So like different classes have different options, different races have different options, and the background for all of them are basically where you start in the game. So it determines not only the first major section of the game, but also some of the decisions later on in the game. So we have humans. Humans are the most numerous, yet the most divided of all the races. Only 4 times have they ever united under a single cause, the last being centuries ago. Religion and the chantry play a large part in human society. It distinguishes them culturally from elves and dwarves more significantly than anything else. Humans can be warriors, rogues, or mages. And if you scroll down a bit, it gives you little stat boosts that humans get. Each race has their own racial benefits. So, elves. Once enslaved by humans, most elves have all but lost their culture, scrounging and impoverished living in the slums of human cities. Only the nomadic Dalish tribes still cling to their traditions, living by the bow and the rule of their old gods as they roam the ancient forests, welcome nowhere else. Elves can be warriors, rogues, or mages. I don't know why I'm having trouble speaking right now. It's weird. But I didn't show you the racial benefits, so willpower and magic. They get boosted stats for that. Now, mages happen to use both of those stats a lot, so I'll probably end up playing a elf for this playthrough, although I don't really like the character model in this game for the elves. They look like miniature humans in a way, with slightly pointed ears. Okay, the dwarves. Rigidly bound by caste and tradition, the dwarves have been waging a losing war for generations, trying to protect the last of their stronghold of their once vast underground empire from the Darkspawn. Dwarves are very tough and have a high resistance to all forms of magic, thus preventing them from becoming mages. So obviously if you want to play a mage, you will not be able to pick a dwarf. Now, for the human side of things, if you're a mage, you always start in the circle. So it's basically like a where mages go to train. So I'll read you that origin first. Wielding a power as dangerous as it is potent, you know that magic is a curse for those lacking the will to control it. You anxiously wait your harrowing. the one chance to prove yourself against the demons lurking without and within. Succeed or be slaughtered by the knights who ward against your kind. Now, if you are either a warrior or a rogue, you only have one option as well for a human. It's basically a human noble origin. As a human noble, you're born to wealth and power, second only to royalty. You find your training in both diplomacy and battle put to the test as your brother leads the bulk of your family's forces to war in the south. Now, if you're an elf, of course you can be a mage, same starting area as the human mage. But if you're a warrior or a rogue, you can choose to be either a Dalish elf or a city elf. Dalish elf first. Proud of your role as one of the few true elves, you have always assumed you would spend your life with your tribe until a chance encounter with a relic of your people's past threatens to tear you away from everything you have ever known. City elf. You've always lived under the heavy thumb of your human overlords, but when a local lord claiming his privilege with the bride shatters your wedding day, the simmering racial tensions explode in a rain of vengeance. I do want to say something about the city elf origin. If you are playing this game and you have any overt sensitivities towards subject matter like rape, you're going to want to avoid playing the city elf to start with, whether male or female. The female version is worse just because you're basically one of the victims of the rape, if that's the case. Whereas if you're the male, you have to watch your loved ones get raped. So, I mean, they're both pretty horrifying. So just a heads up on that. We're not going to be playing through that in this playthrough. My personal favorite starting areas are the dwarven starting areas. Now, as a dwarf, you can be a dwarven commoner or a dwarven noble. Now, the dwarf commoner, you're born casteless in a land where rank is everything. Bound as the lackey and thug of a local crime lord, you spend your life invisible until chance thrusts you into the spotlight, where you can finally prove whether you will be defined by your actions or your birth. As a dwarf noble, as the favored child of the dwarven king, you proudly take up your first military command, only to learn that the deadly intrigues of family and sycophants may pose a greater danger than even the battlefield. So, remember how I said there's differences between playing as male or female? The biggest differences that you can see are actually with the dwarven noble and the human noble. Those are the biggest differences, and they have the most impact on future games, depending on how you play your character, especially towards the end of the game. We can talk about more of that as we come to those parts in the game. So, I'm going to play as an elf for this one, just so that I'm not like a human in more than one game.
Greetings.
So you can customize your character here. I don't really like any of these presets for the most part. This one's not bad. I like that one. This one kind of reminds me of one of my favorite characters in the series. You'll see what I mean when we get to that person. I'll talk about that more as it comes. And the first preset is pretty decent as well. I'm gonna go with this one. So you can change your skin complexion and your skin color and all that. Now, as an elf, I personally don't really think it should be super dark, so we'll keep it a little more on the light side. But I don't like that yellow tinge, so that's weird. Yeah, let's go with that color. It's not much different than what we started as. I'm going to turn off all of the makeup stuff, but just to show you what the makeup looks like, I guess. If you turn the intensity up on all of these, you can browse through the different colors. So this is your blush. It changes the color of your cheeks there. I don't like having any blush on my character. The lip colors. Sometimes this is a fun one to play with, I think anyway. My personal favorites are the natural lip color, which is like nothing, then probably this lighter or darker pink, I guess, and then the purple, especially the dark purple right there. The red is pretty solid. Not really sure I like any of the other ones. The blue is not bad, but not for me. So we're gonna go with no lip color. Then the eyeshadow, got all those fancy colors there. You don't have to have it super intense. You can like change the intensity. Personally, I don't like the eyeshadow either, so we're gonna keep it off. Sometimes I like to have tattoos on my characters though. So these are a few of the different tattoo options you can have for your character. You know what? Yeah, let's go with a tattoo for this one. We'll go with this one. I have no idea what the tattoos mean, I'm sorry. Some other people out there probably know what they mean, so you can look that up if you feel like it. We'll go with that. Maybe, yeah, tone down the intensity there. Just a faded tattoo. That's pretty awesome, I think, anyway. For your hair, you have very limited hair choices in this game, unfortunately. It's a bit of a bummer, but it is what it is. I like that one, personally. Then hair color, go from white to black, and a few things in between. It almost looks like she doesn't have any eyebrows if I do that with the blonde. Okay, I like the blonde. That's cool. We'll do black hair for now, though. Maybe change the hair color up in a different game. Eyes. Whoa. Super surprised. And we'll just go with that one. I like that one. A little bit bigger eyes, not super huge, but not super tight. Wow, it's pretty small. Right there. I like that, yeah. We're not going to change the eye spacing. I think it's good as it is. We'll keep the eye height. Color, it's hard to see the color there. Maybe I can adjust that a bit. It didn't help much. Yeah, you can kind of see the color a little better if you change it on an angle there. Okay. We'll go with like a, I think that's like a greenish blue, something like that. Yeah, we'll go with that. For the brow depth and height, it's better if you put your character on an angle. Make sure the forehead is visible. You can kind of see how it stretches the forehead in or out. I don't like having the forehead like caved in like that. It reminds me of being like hit with a baseball bat or something. So let's keep it more on the natural side. We don't want it sticking too far out, but like right there. I like that. Okay. And then our eyebrows. It kind of changes the natural expression on the character's face. So you can have that natural worried look or natural happy look, I guess. We'll go for something a little bit in between. Yeah, right there is good. Nose. These are your different nose options. We're an elf, so we'll try and keep it more elfy nose, like that. Yeah. Okay. Don't want like a super huge nose, but nothing too small either. Oh yeah, that one is actually really good. There we go. Bridge. Hmm. I don't know, something's bothering me about the way your face like curves right there around the nose. It's weird. It's not bothering me too much. We're not going to focus too much on it. We've better things to do. Yeah. That's really funny, actually, if you do this. The chipmunk cheeks. I can't help it. I'm sorry. Cracks me up. But obviously, we don't want to run around with a chipmunk character. Well, at least not right now. Good enough. Okay. You can change your neck thickness. I don't like having being too skinny, but we're not gonna go with like super beefy either. We're a mage after all. The ear size doesn't really matter all that much, neither does your height. You can't really see the ears underneath the hair anyway, even though we're an elf. And it doesn't change much unless you get like the super short haircuts or like a ponytail. There is a ponytail, but the ponytail's only like a tiny one. so like it doesn't even go past her neck. So yeah, there's no point. And then you can change your character's portrait, just the way it looks. We're gonna go with something, get a full view of the character. Go with a background that'll actually give you a facial view. There we go, yeah. You can change your character's expression. All these wonky designs, but we're just gonna keep it a natural. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more over. Yeah, there we go. Okay, what do we want to name our character? How about Nemesis? No, that's a lame name. Maybe I should have chosen a name ahead of time. We'll go with Elia. Elia Surana. Okay. Now you can change your character's voice.
It's gone. I should do something else. I need Bai, please. Till we meet again.
See, now if you click through, go through like, or click the same voice over and over again, it gives you like different perspectives on what it sounds like saying different things, and I like to do that so you get like a full range of what each voice sounds like.
This is not good.
I don't like this one at all. The cocky.
Off I go.
The wise was not bad.
Greetings. Well, that didn't work. Well, this is odd. My weapon is useless. Move aside.
The experienced one fluctuates a lot. We're not going to go with that.
I cannot cast it. It is unharmed. I must get by. Fare you well.
I love that laugh. You know what? I'm sold. We're going with mystical. We're a mage and we have mystical voice. Why not? Why not? Okay, so this is an important part. Cunning, you're definitely going to want to put at least a little bit into cunning. And the reason for that is there are traits that you give your character that you rely entirely on cunning. But as a mage, most of our skills will be focused on magic. So we're going to put a lot into magic and then some into cunning. Willpower is really good to have as well. So is Constitution if you don't want to die a lot. But for now, I'm going to stick with magic and cunning. We can increase a bit more as we go. So this is the reason you need the cunning. A lot of these, you need cunning to be able to increase them. So coercion allows me to have a more influential character, allows me to convince or change the views of other people. You need cunning if you want to just be able to convince people, and strength if you want to be able to intimidate people. But you do need a minimum amount of cunning to be able to unlock it. So you want to get up to at least 16 cunning if you want to be able to use either coercion, stealing, survival, and I think tactics. Yeah, tactics. So tactics is more important for your side characters than it is for your main character. combat training is essential for anyone who isn't a mage. It's still pretty good for a mage, but as a mage, all it does is make it so you can cast for a longer period of time without being interrupted by other people. So we have a variety of different spells here. I'm going to go with some of the spirit magic down at the bottom there, but just to show you kind of what some of the spells look like. Flame Blast. You can just pause the video and take a look at read the description there. Healing is always good to have. These are all like character boosting type spells. So you can boost others, you can paralyze enemies, that kind of thing. Gain benefits to your spellcasting. But for me to start with, I'm going with Walking Bomb and Mind Blast. The reason for both of these is because I like this ability here, telekinetic weapons, and I like all this. The Walking Bomb is just a fun skill, you'll see what I mean once we start playing. And then I can get the Animate Dead, to be a bit of a necromancer. Okay, let's play. And like I said before, we'll start on easy. But I actually do think the video has gone on quite...
On a cliff overlooking the dark waters of Lake Calenhad stands the tower fortress that is home to the Circle of Magi. This tower is the only place in Ferelden where mages may study their art among others of their kind. Within the high stone walls, the Circle practices its magic and trains apprentices in the proper use of their powers. But the Circle Tower is as much a prison as a refuge. The ever-vigilant Templars of the Chantry watch over all mages, constantly alert for any sign of corruption. This gilded cage is the only world you know. Found to be sensitive to magic at a young age, you were torn from your family and grafted here as an apprentice. Now, that apprenticeship is nearly over. All that remains is the final test, the harrowing.
Magic exists to serve man, and never to rule over him. Thus spoke the prophet Andraste as she cast down the Tevinter Imperium, ruled by mages who had brought the world to the edge of ruin. Your magic is a gift, but it's also a curse. For demons of the Dream Realm, the Fade, are drawn to you and seek to use you as a gateway into this world.
This is why the harrowing exists. The ritual sends you into the Fade, and there you will face a demon, armed with only your will.
Okay, so what I was saying before is, now that we have a character made, I'm actually going to stop the video for now. But since this dialogue started up automatically, I forgot it would do that, honestly. I should have known better. We'll finish this dialogue and then I'll stop the video and we can continue another time. So, my character. Am I ready? Is there any other option? What happens if I cannot defeat them? Okay. Yeah. What happens if I cannot defeat the demon?
It will turn you into an abomination, and the Templars will be forced to slay you. This
Well, that
is
sucks.
delirium, the very essence of magic.
Let's defeat the demon then.
The harrowing is a secret out of necessity, child. Every mage must go through this trial by fire. As we succeeded, so shall you. Keep your wits about you, and remember the Fade is a realm of dreams. The spirits may rule it, but your own will is real.
The apprentice must go through this test alone, First Enchanter. You are ready.
So all those guys in armor, they're called Templars, and they have like abilities that can counteract magic. What they're doing there is they will kill me if I fail this test. Awesome, ain't it? Okay, and with that, I'm actually going to stop the video for now. Until next time.